Okay. On the last video, I didn't get a chance to explain this last problem, problem number 9, where the median score for Miss Garcia's class is the same as which score for Miss Singh's class. Okay, here's the median score for Miss Garcia's class right here. It's the same as Miss Singh's maximum score. That's the highest score that's on her box and whisker plot, as you can see, which is in this case 51. That's the same as Miss Garcia's median. So here, the median score for Miss Garcia's class is the same as the maximum. Okay, now number 10. 7 students on an intramural team weighs 158 pounds, 161 pounds, 153 pounds, 164 pounds, 151 pounds, 170 pounds, and 170 pounds. They ask what is the standard deviation of the weights of these students. And I'm going to show you how to use the graphing calculator to calculate the standard deviation. Okay, now we're going to press the Stat button, and then we're going to edit. We're going to press number 1 for edit under the edit menu. Now let's clear out these data values that are in L1. So here we want to press the up arrow button and then hit the clear key on the right side and then hit enter to clear out those data values. Okay, now in L1 I'm going to put in brand new data values. So here I'm going to type in 151. I'm sorry. Not 158, 161, 153, 164, 151, 170, 170. And make sure you press enter after the last number that you entered. Okay, now let's do some calculations here. Let's go to Stat, press that Stat button. Now this time we want to do calculations, so we want to hit the right arrow key for the Calc menu and select number 1 for one variable statistics. And then after that you're going to press enter. Okay, now we know what the mean and the summation is. Now the one that we want to use, of course, is the standard deviation. And in this case, our standard deviation, we're going to use sigma x. It's this one right here. That's the one we use for our answer for the standard deviation. In this case, to the nearest tenth is going to be 7.0. Okay, because this one represents the population. The one above it represents the sample. It's this one that we want to use as our answer, which is 7.0. So the standard deviation, of course, is 7.0. rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, let's take a look at the next problem here. This problem number 11. Where it says here the scores on the test listed on the right are listed on the right, and here they are. Now you want to find the mean, the median, the mode, the interquartile range, the variance, and the standard deviation of these test scores. Okay, now let's use our TI-83 or the 84 graphing calculator to come up with all those statistical values that we need to find. Alright, let's press the Stat key, and then you press Edit. Now we're going to clear out L1, so we'll press the up arrow key for L1 to highlight L1, then hit your clear key, and then hit Enter. Now we're going to enter these numbers in the graphing calculator one at a time. So we have 79, 79, 78, 89, 84, 72, 84, 79, 80, 85, 82. And here there are 11 numbers here in this case. Now the next step will be to press the Stat button. That's this button here. Now here we want to do calculations here, so we're going to hit the right arrow key for calc, and then we're going to select number 1, which is one variable statistics, and then hit enter. Now some of these we can get the answers right off the top. Like the mean of this set of data, if you look at it, that's your x bar, which is 81. So the mean for this set of data is going to be 81. Okay, now the mode we're going to have to look at from this set of data. We're going to have to find the number that occurs the most often. And by looking at this, you can see that 79 occurs 3 times more than any other number in that set of data. So the mode is 79. Okay, we know what the standard deviation is. We can look at sigma of x. That's this number right here. In this case, it's going to be 4.3, rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, now to find the median and the interquartile range, let's go to this calculator and press that down arrow key. Oops. Okay, now let's press that down arrow key. In this case here, the median, that's your MED, that's 80. So in this case here, the median here is going to be 80. Now to find the interquartile range, if you remember, the interquartile range is always going to be the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. In this case, our upper quartile, which is Q3, is 81. The lower quartile, which is Q1, is 79. So if you do 84 minus 79, you're going to end up with 5. So the interquartile range is going to be 5. Okay, now let's find the variance. Now, I want to use my up arrow button to come up with that sigma of x, which is our standard deviation of 4.2852181363. In this case here, if we know the standard deviation, we can find out what the variance is, because the variance is always the square of the standard deviation. And the standard deviation, of course, is the square root of that variance. So what we're going to need to do here is type in this entire string of decimal numbers, 4.2852181363. And we're going to press the x squared button on the left hand side. So we press x squared because you're going to get an exponent of 2 here. Because what you want to do here is square the standard deviation to come up with the variance. And then hit enter. In this case here, it will be 18.34 because they asked us to round to the nearest thousand, so it would be 18.364. Okay, so here all the problem number 11 is complete. The mean is 81, the median is 80, the mode is 79, the interquartile range will be 5, the variance is 18.364, and the standard deviation, of course, is 4.3.